Hey guys, Sean Darling here again here in Moho, and today we're continuing on with this couple that I've started drawing and recreating in Moho, and we're going to do a little hair work and then some shading and highlights and see what we can do. All right, here goes nothing. Let's go ahead now and oh yeah, the Moho logo. We need that. Um, I'm doing a live stream. And anyway, um, all right, cool. So let's move on over to Moho, where we are set up. And yeah, I'm feeling a little blah today. I need some inspiration. I need some people to talk to me and pick me up a little bit, if that's all right. You guys, there's a chat window, of course. So at any time, say, hey, Sean, what's up? And hopefully I can answer you pretty quickly. All right, so first things first, let's get on with the show here. I'm just working on these people, and I need to do some masking. Now, I'm not sure how many videos I've done on masking. I've done some color stuff and all that, but it's similar. So for the moment, to start with, I guess we can get on some of that. So let's find his shirt here, which will be listed under torso probably, which is right here. This is just a single color layer here. And what I want to do, I'm just going to turn off the back, is get this a lot more dimensional, you can see, than it is here. I've got the image over here, and I'm probably going to take that and make it a lot smaller because I think it's a bit unwieldy is a good word right now. So I'm just going to pull this over to where our image is. We can grab color from that a lot easier. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to go to my style panel here, and I am going, well, yeah, and I'm going to grab a color. Of course, all my other windows are on the other side, but I'm going to grab a color very similar, and unfortunately I cannot do it from this monitor. I'm going to have to find another way, but I can just grab a similar color, something that is blue-gray, going into the greens partially, a lot more desaturated, and probably something like that for the moment. Wait, that is the color we've got. So let's go with the lighter color that's here. So something very similar to the lighter color, I think, that's there. And what we want to do is on top of that torso layer, create another layer. And we're going to, we can be real sloppy about this, which is really nice. It's my favorite thing to do, in fact. And we're going to take our add points tool and not worrying about the back color so much. I mean, we can get it up on that some because, of course, we're on the wrong layer. Where is my torso layer? There we go. We can on frame 0, and I am not making marks. Wonder why. Come on now. Autofill, auto stroke. We have gotten nothing going on because it's a live stream. Let's see what's going on here. There we go. I know what it is. We've turned off our strokes there. So I don't know how I did that. Must have been from last time. But I'm going to select all these guys and get rid of that fun stuff. All right. So we're going to grab our add points tool on our layer. And we're going to rename that layer actually to torso highlight or shirt highlight. Torso highlight. Misspelled. Holite. I didn't mean to say holite, but it's a lot funnier. Highlight. And I know that's not the way you spell highlight technically either, but I like to spell it that way. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and do this real sloppy like, because what I'm going to do is not the add points tool. we're going to use the blob brush. Right here. And we're just going to come in and let's undo that. Turn the stroke off. Leave the everything else on. Leave the pin pressure on. And I'm just going to come in here with that blob brush and sort of feel around the way I want this to look. Now, granted, that's the torso, so it won't matter under the arm. We can go ahead and get rid of the stuff that's under the arm if I can find the eraser. All right, so I'm just going to get rid of this part and leave the other. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come here and grab both of these layers. I'm going to right click them and group with selection. We're going to call that torso. And this will work for the entire torso now. So we're just going to go to masking and we're going to say hide all. I'm going to say OK. And then on this back layer here, we're just going to make sure that we go into masking and tell it to exclude strokes. OK. And that's it. Works really well. We can do whatever we need to clean that up or make it look more like the other, but that's essentially all it is. So I'm just going to come back in here and kind of not erase everything, but the torso highlight, I'm going to do a little bit of erasing on like that. And then we can do the same thing here, the arm left, where most of this highlight is going to be. It's going to get the same treatment. We're going to use the blob brush and make sure our auto stroke is off, pin pressure is on, and I'm just going to kind of continue, with this shape. And I suggest kind of going outside of the lines because it's going to look a little bit better, especially when everything gets grouped. So that was not what I wanted to do. I'm going to add a layer first. So I just deleted that, but I'll add a layer, put these together, group them just like before. The group will be called arm left. And that layer is going to be called highlight, of course. So I'm just going to rename it. And then once again, we double click on that, give it masking, tell it to hide all. Okay, the back one, which is the very bottom one, will go in and we'll tell it to not, get rid of any of the strokes. So there we go. So now on the highlight layer, we'll come in finally and use our blob brush. And we will go ahead and, do a little crazy whatever. And then that's it. Simple. And like I said, if you want to come in with an eraser, we can even take that highlight, and this would be probably a cool thing to do anyways, take that highlight. And since I believe that is a stroke, we can come in with a stroke. And I hope it's a stroke. I think it's a shape though. Yeah, I think it's a shape. So unfortunately this won't work. I thought that would do it, but we can come in and give it an effect just the same. And make this like a crayon, and it will start to chew up those edges a bit. And the line width is going to be kind of like, how kind of chunky it is. The density is going to have some holes in it, kind of like that. The line boil, will obviously let it boil, and we probably won't see it right off the bat. Let me just GPU cache, see if that does it. We might have to go in and actually do a little preview of this here. So I'll go File, Preview, which I don't like because the whole point of the new render engine is to not have any issues like this. But, and it should show us that this has been treated more like a crayon, which I don't see that it is. So I know why. First thing you got to do is select the shape of the object. Then you go in and give it its effect. And once that's been applied, and I don't really know the size that this is going to be because of this display business, get a little bit bigger, make it a little less dense, maybe about 50, just to be safe. And then under display, see if the GPU caching makes any difference, and it doesn't appear to. So let's go ahead and do a little preview. and it'll knock one out. And then we should be able to see. Now, it probably isn't showing up only because the stroke or whatever, the size of it is too big. So we're going to go back in. Okay, we're going to go back into it, and I'm going to make the line width smaller. And let's go with about, my brush is locked onto that. Let's make this about a 9. We'll make the density quite a bit less, something like, I don't know, 29. Sure. And you're not going to see it here still, probably. That just tells me that, that is never going to come back. And then we're going to go and in preview, see that that's broken up here. So, I mean, it's pretty good. It's just a matter, I hate having to fiddle around with this like this. You should be able to see your effects as they happen, but they said this wouldn't be an issue anymore, and it's always been an issue for me. So I'm just going to fill that density in back a little bit. I just, like I said, hate it because I can't tell unless I do all this business with the previewing, which I've never liked doing. Yeah, that you're not going to see. So you can see now it's broken up too much and then blah, blah, blah. So I have to go back about 30 times and do this. Until they fix this, it's what you're going to have to do. So I'm going to go back here at the line width, make it a bit more, make it a little bit more dense. I say okay, and render it again. Now rendering on here is a, the preview anyway, is a Control R. So you can just Control R to do this preview. And now I've got nothing again. So, I mean, it's quite frustrating to go back and forth constantly trying to get this right. And it never seems to, it has a hard time the whole time. So I'm just going to bring that back down, Control R again. There's a little more of it, but not everywhere. Yeah, so it's going to always be a thing. I want to put the line width really big. Just leave it like that. See what happens now. That takes it away completely. So let's go ahead and do the line width the other way. And I'm just going to go down to 16. I'm going to put my density up to 100 to start with. And then we'll try it now just to see. And you can see it starts to be broken up a little bit. And I mean, I am like, ouch! God bless, my cat just bit me really hard. Sorry. You need to go lay down, cat, before I get mad at you. Sorry about that. Yeah, got a little blood going. This happens daily, folks. I apologize for that. So let's Control R, see what happens. So, I mean, they need to get this. They need to get this fixed. Like I said, it was supposed to show you real-time effects. I've yet to have that really work well. And in something like this, where I consider it pretty necessary to know what you're doing, it's really hard to say. So I'm going to take the line width down to about 2 now. Try that. It looks better, but now we got some stringy lines, so I'll bring it back up. So you find yourself rendering this, rendering this like, 50 times until you know it's right, and then you'll change to a different part, and you'll have to go test render that part a bit. So, good luck, I would say, with all of it. I'm going to turn the line boil off because I don't necessarily want or need that, which would probably give me a little better result, but, now this is something you also, wow, she got me good, can do with strokes. So let's try that. I'm just going to show you the difference. I'm going to take this shape here and just delete it off of here. I'm going to go ahead and delete the lines as well. And then we're going to go in with our pen tool here, with our freehand tool. And I'm just going to use auto stroke, but leave everything off. I'm not going to put on auto fill. And we're going to make our stroke width pretty high. And then in the brush, we can come in now, and I can just grab, any any appropriate brush. It's hard for me to also tell what brush is going to do what in here. It's not the best example because I click on this, it looks cool, and I look down here, it doesn't look like that. You know what I mean? I don't know why that is so different as well. Um, there's spacing and everything else I get, but yeah, and I'm not sure. I'm not really all that sure why that doesn't work the way I expect. I just think it needs to be worked on a little bit more to kind of give you more expected results, I guess is what I'm looking for. So let's just go ahead. Yeah, bleeding. Hopefully nobody's. I mean, look at my arm. Do you see this arm? This is from this cat constantly attacking me. I got this one on this side too. Ugh. Anyway, um, so I'm going to come in here now with just a stroke, and that's a little bit big. So let's take that down to, I don't know, like 15, or right now it's at 20. So we're just going to take a stroke in here like this. That is not a very good one. It's not really the best brush either. So let's go ahead and go to like maybe a 20. I'm going to take the color, the same similar color blue like I've got over here. It's kind of a cornflower grayish blue. I'm just trying to get a similar color. And then in our brush, let's grab something a little better. Maybe this, I don't know. And you do the same thing with one of these brushes, and you get this cooler result anyway. And that way, when you test render it, you actually get what you expect, as opposed to something that's a lot more hit or miss. I'm a little, personally kind of disappointed, in that. Not disappointed in the Moho team, but they just don't look very good that way, I mean, you think there'd be something we could do a little better than that, I think. So I'm just going to drop my color down a little bit, see if this works a little better. That's a little too dark for me now. So now just a little, meet it halfway, I guess. Try here, that's better. Yeah, you get the idea though. And I want to make maybe a smaller brush now. Maybe like a 12, 15 something. That way I can control kind of where these go a little easier. And there you have it. Okay, so back here on this torso highlight, I'm going to pull out that those particular points as well. And I'm getting a lot of rendering errors too. You see this big blue thing? I don't even know. I've never even seen that one before. So Moho, if you're listening, don't know what's happening, but a lot of people I know are getting these weird rendering errors, especially when using background images or bringing in other images to use as reference images. I've seen that. I don't think I've gotten any when I'm not using a tracing image or a reference, secondary image or something like that. But it's always happening when I do my scroll wheel. If that tells you anything, I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and back in with my brush again here and just try to put in some more of the highlights. We can go back here to that arm highlight and kind of make this match a bit better now. So, I mean, it works, right? It's not, I don't think it's 1,000% ideal there or whatever, but it's cool. I'll figure it out. I'll work with it. So then the color back, we're going to get the same thing. I'm going to throw in another vector. This one will be called highlight as well. And then you can see, there we go. Look at this. Another rendering error happening. Yeah, so whatever. I'll figure it out. I'll work with it. So we obviously didn't do a mask on the collar. So we're going to have to join those, group them together. We'll do color back because she's going to get mad otherwise. Color back. And in that layer, of course, we're going to take our masking. We're going to hide all. Okay. And then we're going to go to the, we're going to put the highlight on top of that neck layer. And then on the neck layer, of course, we got to go in to masking and say exclude strokes, but hang on. It's not happening, and I'm not sure why. Let's double check what we just did. Undo it. It's probably a rendering error, which, if you kill my drawing here, I'm gonna rebel. And now, for some reason, I have this in front of that, and it is part of this, but I guess because, this is in the neck. Why in the world? I grouped the neck with it. So we'll do this, and we'll take the neck now. The neck's got to be in front. We're good. So on the collar back layer, masking, we need to hide all. Apply, okay. And then on the collar back portion, we'll go in there and now exclude strokes. I guess it pays to pay attention to what I'm doing. And then we'll have this not working still. Cool. My favorite. So the highlight has this. The collar back has this. I'm going to double check. Masking says exclude strokes. It's in the collar back group. We're going to double click on the collar back group. Check masking again. Hide all. Apply. Okay. And exclude strokes means it's not masking the strokes, but it is doing it on the arm. So let me know why that is. So the arm has exclude strokes. Now the highlight probably does too. So mask this layer. Apply. Now we're good. Look at that. Okay. You gotta think about what you're doing, folks. I mean, duh, right? So we'll probably need shadows in there. But this is essentially, and I'm just trying to get a similar kind of vibe here. I can come in and put a little more up there, but overall, you get the idea. So for the neck, real simple shadow on the neck. Just add another layer. I'm gonna go with neck shadow. And then followed by a neck shadow. Shadow. I don't know why I'm not able to sing today. Neck. I'm just going to put shadow. We'll know it's the neck shadow because it goes in the neck folder. So that's going to be my new role as a detective. Neck shadow. Bounty hunter. Group with selection. I'm going to say it says neck. And of course, that's going to have the masking. You see, I haven't even done any drawing yet, and I'm doing this, but it doesn't matter. This will actually make the drawing work just the same. And while you're drawing, you get to see how cool it's going to look. So we get that all good, and now we go in and draw our neck shadow. Now, my neck color is something else that's wrong. So before I do the neck shadow, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to grab my neck color, the overall color, and we're going to adjust this too. So I'm just going to, I can't highlight it. So what I'm going to do is come in and find a similar flesh, darker flesh, a little more red than not. Maybe like that. We'll say okay, and it'll give us the entire neck color. It's similar. And then on the shadow, of course, we can come in here with our stroke tool if we want it to have that feel. And we can just come over here. Come on. And we can... Why am I not undoing? Oops. Okay. And then we can come over here, bring this up a bit, and just do one line across. And that's not working. I want to make this quite a bit bigger. And let's go ahead now and we'll change the color of that stroke to something like brown-ish, just a darker color. And I'm going to want to change my brush to something a bit more scrubby. I would cancel. I don't know what happened. Okay. I guess I tried to save it. So something like that. And because this has a Yeah, we put that on the neck. We should have put it on the shadow. I was like, what is happening here? Because we have that masking on there, we get that effect. So that's how it works. If we wanted to, we could also come into the neck color and put in like scrubby lines and stuff. Go in here, select the brush, maybe change the spacing out quite a bit, size, variation, and amplitude. The scale and whatever variation, size variation. I don't know if I want to do angled drift. I'm just going to put 0 on that for now because it looks best. And we can change the value of it to where it gets lighter and softer. The hue, we don't really want to change. I think maybe a little. And that way when you come in and do it, you're going to get like, other stuff. I'm going to just beef that up because if I did this over the whole thing, and I really do want to break it up. I don't want, so many pieces, so much together, variation, amplitude, everything. So if I come in here now and just sort of, hit this in certain areas, kind of gives you a little more kind of interesting breakup. Maybe not there, like that. And then, of course, that was all on the neck, which we don't want. If we put this on the shadow, though, then we get the cutoff that we're looking for. Maybe a little less on the neck there. And it has this real sort of hand-done, kind of feel to it that I personally really dig. So something a little more like that. So that is a way of doing it. We could be also making this way smaller of a brush, taking all of this back down to our kind of like our defaults. So right now we're on that guy. So let's just switch back to it. And then we can come in here with some lines, just some straight standard lines, and going through a few of those in there like that to give that more sketchy look. You could also go to the neck itself, and now we can go around to the stroke of the neck. We have to grab the shape tool first like this. And now we can go in here to the actual brush of the neck if we wanted and say, hey, use, something a little more scrubby for that. And of course, we can adjust the spacing and the scale of these parts and the amplitude, of course, and change of that. And the angle, whatever you want to do. So I usually stick stuff on 2s also, 2s or 4s, size, variation, and scale. And then, of course, we can change the size, the saturation, the value can change quite a bit over time, saturation, etc. I'm going to say OK. And then when we look at this and we change the thickness to bigger or smaller, you get, you can kind of start to see the point of doing this. It's not the brush I would use. I'd find something a lot more weirdly scrubby or, broken up because maybe, the spacing and whatever. But you do have to reselect your shape because otherwise it'll have no effect. We'll go back into here and just pick something else. Spacing can come apart. We do a lot of the variation and size variation that kind of changes the line width, thickness, and so forth. So we can do like so. Spacing, I like to keep the spacing relatively together, but you can change out the value, of course. Now hue, it's cool, but you got to be careful because you're going to wind up making things blue, green, orange when you didn't mean to. So stuff like that's cool. Smaller brushes, ink wash brushes and all that looks really cool, but it's going to get smeary if you use smeary brushes. So just remember that. I think that was a song by Don Ho way back in the day, wasn't it? Smeary brushes. Anyway, so yes, just check your check your stuff, make sure it works. Some of these just, I don't know, don't work for me. Maybe not on this particular setup. And all these things make a difference. Your spacing, your size, your breakup. So I love that random kind of feel to it that you can get. It's one of my favorite things when you get into a very sort of randomy look, pencil sketch, kind of feel is very cool to me. Like something more like that is cool. How to get there, I don't know, because a lot of what I wind up doing is I'll find something that looks cool and I'll save the brush. So I'll call, my scrubby ink, let's say. It'll ask me if I want to reload the brushes. So I'm just going to say, yeah, reload them. That way mine will come up in there. And when I want to select on another piece, like let's say the shirt now, we'll go back to our torso. And then we can come in, grab our brush. And when that comes up, it'll be right here. And it should say scratchy paint. That's not the one I want. So there's my scrubby ink, which is probably the one we just made. Scratchy pencil, scrubby ink, and scratchy paint. So I'm going to go with that one. And you'll see we have our brush that looks like it's kind of penciled, which I like. I want for this particular character. So we can put this on everything. Unfortunately, you do have to do it one piece at a time, but it's worth it to do it, So we'll just say okay. And if you're, and this is really dependent too on the size of brush you used on that part. So if you do come back here, you can make this larger or smaller, and it will make a difference. Let's see, and on my torso, I will grab, let's see, all of these sections. That says it's all applied, but I do not see it on those particular lines. So these will have to be added in as a separate stroke, it looks like. So let me just grab one line at a time. There's that one. Let's see if that works out for us. So it did there. I'm not seeing it happening in my other lines, but we'll try. Yeah, it's not wanting to do it here. And it's weird because it's almost like it's on another layer. I hope not, but if I turn this off, it shows that it's not. So, odd that. So I might have to delete that shape or reapply this shape. It's always a possibility. So this has both. I'm going to go ahead and say create. Come back over. See what I mean? It's a different shape than the rest of it. So a little strange how that works. And when we go to that there, that one says it's good, and we go to that one there, and that one says it's good. So I'm not real sure why that is the way it is. So I'm going to go back and create it again just to see if maybe it makes up for it. Anyway, enough wasting time with that. We'll just go ahead and try to get some of this taken care of. So this one says, that's good. And this one's got all this. We'll go into the shape just to make sure this says both and say create again. And that one looks like it took just fine. So it's got the lines and so forth. The back collar now we need. I'm watching my cat. She, I don't know about you guys, but I personally have a really hard time living with an animal that I'm afraid of. It's not something I like to do or will do for much longer. Okay. Anyway, you guys are like, maybe we should go. You're fine. So I'm just going to switch this out to this as well. And now we have pretty much all of these with the little hand-drawn vibe, except for, I don't know, this collar's got it. It's just got another one just outside of it, which is really odd, huh? I've had this problem before, and I don't know what it means. If I delete this, it deletes that. So what I'm trying to do is delete this outside. There's like an outside line. That's the neck. Let me go back to the torso. There's this little extra line that's super black. You can see right here. And it's outside the other shape. So I'm not sure, because if I delete that one, oh, well, I guess maybe that worked. Let's just see. But that one is saying it's got my torso, whatever. Yeah, weird that. It's weird. Just delete that stroke. Let's delete. See, there it is. So if I go to my torso, I'm going to have to redraw that line is what it is. Let's undo. So I want to keep the good shape. And I think what I'm going to have to do is push this one to the back. Put lower shape. And I'll keep doing that until I get that one, the other black line in the front. So this is lower shape. I'm not sure what the keyboard shortcut is. That a just... I don't know. I think it is. So let's delete that one now. And this one looks like that needs to be bigger. So I'm pretty sure this works out now. I'm just going to move that one down. It's a little too thick. I think that works all right for me. We have to put in shadows, move the lines around a little bit more, but overall I think it looks pretty good. Work on his head a little. I'm going to be going soon. I only want to go for for a little while because the cat's acting up and I don't really want to have to deal with that anymore than I have to. I'll close some of these up to see what I am doing. There's the head. So I do want to apply this to my head layer. And I might go back with these strokes and make them dark brown. Kind of gives it a little more hand-drawn feel as well. These look a little bit too, in my opinion, a little too thin. So I'm just going to beef those up. I mean, it's a bigger part of the drawing, so I think that works. Let's try the mouth layer, see if it is all one, which it is, thank goodness. And we're going to go with the same type of stroke. Probably beef that one up slightly more. There we go. The beard, now these, I believe, are all strokes. If that's the case, then cool. They could be shapes, but I think they're strokes. So with that, we're going to... Now it says that's applied. I don't believe it. So I'll try. Yeah, so I know those are strokes. So what I need to do somehow is pick one of them in its entirety. If we knock it down, it doesn't happen. Interesting. Beard, frame 0. You turn it off and on. See, that is definitely a stroke. And I'm wondering why they don't change size. This I've not seen. That is different. That is different. Because the lip cleft is the same situation. And if I select it, we should be able to change it with no problems. And it's not suddenly. That is weird. So I'm going to save this dude real quick. And I am going to wonder what's up. Let's see. That is interesting. I'd select them like so again. Swap it out. I see nothing changing. Back over to here. Nothing changing. You have to select them as a shape is what it is. So now we'll pick the brush. You gotta select them as a shape, even if it's a stroke. Got it. Okay. So now if we were to go do our beard hairs, we're going to grab the shape tool, go to our beard, select all of these shapes now. Then we add our brush, and we'll get our cool effect from what I gather. And we do. Okay, cool. I say let's make those a little thicker. Because they are strokes, we have that luxury. And nice. Okay. Let's pick the ears. Grab the shape and this shape. You need help? She's lying. And change the brush to this. And we'll grab this guy. Not sure I'm grabbing this actual shape. I think I'm grabbing the other one. Let me take that one. Lower it. So that helps. This one now is, I'm not sure why that worked, but we're going to delete that shape. They must have had two of them that were different. So, and I'm going to also come in here and probably up the size of that just slightly to another pixel, another point. And then this ear, hopefully we don't have the same issues. So this is going to be our new brush. Let's up it just a little. Grab this one. Do the same. Gosh, I must have been the most boring person on the planet. Let me see if I delete that one. Nope. I want to pick the other. So I'm going to take that one and I'm going to push it back. Let's see. Lower shape. Yep. I don't know why that works. Cool. I'm glad it does. All right. And then this one looks like it has a separate extra bit on it too. So this one, draw. Maybe we raise that one to front. Nope. Edit. Draw. Lower to back. But I can already tell you there is a shape, a actual shape here that should not be on that one. So cool. Now it's good. Yeah, I'm not sure why that happens sometimes. So he has a much more hand-drawn look starting to happen. Let's go to the lip nose. You can see there's none of that on the nose, and we really want it. So I'm going to select all these shapes here. And for whatever reason, this one is not selecting. We'll add our brush to those. The new brush. And I'm going to up the size just by a point. And then I'm going to grab, if it will let me, this one. I'm going to take that, and I don't know why this works, but I'm going to lower it. It's like, I don't know what's up with it. It's like there's more than one, you know. I'll have to be careful how they're drawn at this point. So let's go ahead and bring this one up a bit. I want to see those pencil lines. And that one I can get rid of. And I'm just going to take that one, see if I can get rid of that one. Nope. So now we're going to take this one and beef it up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's like there's multiple versions of it under there. Never seen that before. I only drink the 0 sugar stuff. All right, this eye, I'm going to take it and add this brush. This is our scrubby ink. I am going to up the size a bit so we can actually see it. And I'll grab the rest of these that we can actually grab without doing our weird little double delete layer weird trick. See if there's anything going to stop me now. Because nothing can stop me now. I don't know what I meant by that. But it sounded good for a minute. All right, let's go ahead and grab those and pop that in there. Up it just a slight bit. I think that works. The pupil now, that's a shape. So we're going to have to put a style on that if nothing else. Probably like the crayon shape, but I mean, there's no way to tell, you know, what it's going to look like, as I said. So we're going to control R that and see what it, you see it already just wiped it out because the size is probably too big. So let's just go down to a smaller size, render it again. It is there, but now it's very fuzzy because of our difference in our feathering. Let's go ahead and say no boil. Try it now. Nope, still got that happening. So we're probably just going to need to take that line width super far. Maybe let's go with 6. I don't know. Maybe it works. It's a little better, but not great. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to take this back all the way down to 1. Density, I'll probably have to go back up to 100. Yeah, because that crayon is just looking bad. That's fine. I'm going to go to 100 and just check it one last time. Yeah, no crayon. No crayon. I think it is fine. I mean, splotchy, sure. I use that a lot. You have to make sure all of your stuff is set right. The magnitude can go kind of higher up. The scale, I usually somewhere around 3, and usually monochrome because I don't want a bunch of rainbow colors in the eyeball. As you can see, it's hard to see. It's not even really worth it. But if he was bigger on the screen, it would kind of show up. So we'll just leave it at that. We'll move on to the other eye. Get its joyful brush happening. So this is also about selecting the shape and not the lines, not the strokes, the actual shapes. So this one goes here. I'm going to bring that up slightly. It's that top little line there. That one exists there too. It looks like we got another double stroke. Ooh, that'd be horrible. And so I'm going to try and grab this second shape. It's sort of layered over the top of this one. See if I can delete it. Not that one. Not that one. So we're going to have to push one of these back, I guess, is how it works. So draw, lower to back. See, and it just seems to work better. And I guess this should be lowered now. So draw, lower to back for that. See, we have this harsh eye stripe thing happening here, which I don't care for. It's like we can't get to this, you know. It looks good when you do that. You need to grab the one that's outside of this somehow. So I know it's the draw order layer that's doing it. So we're going to lower the shape. And that's better, but I still want to see the fuzz on the inside. So draw, lower shape. Nothing happens. Okay. So that one, draw, lower to back. And we saw the hard edge. See, that doesn't, I don't know why this works this way. I'm sorry, folks, that I don't. So that's a both. Let's see, why don't we have a shape that we can select here? And this is the proper shape here that we need to change the brush on, possibly, probably. Yep. Okay, so there's just some weird doubling that's getting like created. And I just have to go in and delete the double shape. That's what it seems like anyway. So this and this, I think I'm going to take this one. Do delete that one? Nope. It's like this other shape here now again. This one, let's just go ahead and do it while we're here. It's a little frustrating. Granted, I'm a little frustrated with that. Just see, make sure I've got the actual screen I'm supposed to be recording. Hey, what's up, Slobcat? Yes, select shape. I see that. I saw that. Yeah, sorry I didn't see you there earlier. It's been a little hectic off and on. For some reason now I am not seeing my Facebook one, but I guess that's okay. Must have closed it. But I will. That means I might have closed my actual thing. Whatever. I guess I didn't even turn it on. Nice. Yep. Canceling that one. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I'm not going to be on here too much longer. So draw order, lower to back. It does, yeah, it's so weird that, which one works. See how that's now able to be selected. Weird, and they were drawn at the same time. And I'm sure it's got some weird doubling things. If I delete this one, see? Odd. So now I can grab this one, which I think is the right one. Yep, sure is. They got doubled somewhere along the way, obviously. And then those, and we throw this brush on them as well. And now we have something that feels a little more hand-drawn. I might clean up some of these spots. They're a little strong. He looks a little dirty, like he was working in the garage doing some rust or something, right? But they're a little strong here and there. Let's go to the neck. It's probably how I have to select that, you would think. So I think this is on shadow. Yeah, so we can grab those and just kind of change those sizes. Can't really change the opacity because it's all on the same layer, I think. I could be wrong. Oh, well, we can do the individual strokes, though, can't we? So, where's my Lord? Those are looked at like shapes, apparently. And that will do that, but it breaks it up over the area. And you can't go in, or can you, and adjust the individual shape like I did. The individual opacity on that, you can't. I guess I could change the color to be more alpha'd. There you go. That will work. And then you could grab the next one, do the same thing with alpha the color. There we get real subtle. You can also do points. You can also color points, which I'm not a big fan because it feels a little not controllable. Less you have less control over it. Not a control freak, but you know what I mean. And then I guess the shadow could be a little more transparent. Those are the lines. Let's grab the actual shape of the shadow now. I think that one's a stroke, an individual stroke, though, which is this guy here. And now we can do it. So there you go. You get it. The rest will be toning the face. We get to work on her. I mean, there's going to be like all the scragglies and that cool stuff too. But I think overall, it's got a cool look. The hair obviously needs a lot of work. And if I turn this off, we can get everything sharpened at the same time. Okay, so this eye still has an issue. Close this up and go to my left eye pupil. Gotta make sure there's no style on that. It's just screwing it up. So, I mean, when it's rendered, it would probably be fine. I just can't look at it like that. So we'll just get rid of it. There, it's fine. All right, cool. Okay, well, that's all I'm going to do today. I appreciate you guys stopping by, just making characters, and got to have that lovely Moho logo up there. And it's funny because every time I switch over, you have this weird, was it slug letters there? Okay, cool. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys soon.